Hello, my name is Edurne Zoko. I'm Executive Director of Clean Energy Technology at S&P Global Commodity Insights. After decades of strategic investments, China is the undisputed leader in clean tech manufacturing and dominates all the associated supply chain from raw materials extraction to processing to manufacturing of components. In recent years, government programs like the US Inflation Reduction Act and India's Production Link Incentive have promoted domestic clean energy technology production to create local jobs and enhance supply chain resilience. However, these efforts today have not jeopardized Chinese dominance. In the case of Europe, however, policy initiatives to support clean tech manufacturing have been largely ineffective today. The wind industry is maybe an exception, as leading European turbine manufacturers maintain their legacy supply chains in the region. We are seeing very interesting developments at this moment in Europe that we are going to be closely monitoring for our customers. An example of how policy is reshaping supply chains can be seen in the case of solar PV modules in the US market. Most imports to the US for the last decade came from Southeast Asia. However, the final results of the anti-dumping and countervailing duty investigation in the US have imposed very high tariffs to modules produced in these countries, which means de facto that exports to the US have halted. So how will the US market procure modules to support the PV installation outlook? In two ways. First, an acceleration of the ramping up of domestic manufacturing that could partially sort out the problem. Second, other countries outside of Southeast Asia, like India, are currently aggressively ramping up its PV manufacturing capacity, targeting not only the fast-growing domestic market in India, for instance, but also the possibility to export to the higher margin US market. Similarly, we are also seeing a wave of capacity announcements across the Middle East and North Africa. Particularly, we are seeing some major developments in Saudi Arabia that is positioning as a new potential hub for Chinese PV and battery manufacturers. But these capacity announcements are not only related to solar and batteries. We are also seeing important announcements related to other clean tech, as in the case of wind. All in all, we expect that this year manufacturing expansion in China to drop in response to the overcapacity issues, industry concentration, and manufacturing growth in new regions due to onshoring. And this is going to lead to a more diversified clean tech manufacturing footprint by 2030. According to our latest projections, China's share of the PV module manufacturing market will decline to 65%, while the share of battery cell manufacturing is expected to drop to 60%, and this will be mostly driven by joint venture investments from the automotive sector. However, despite these recent developments in terms of new manufacturing capacity in some regions, it is no secret that it's going to be an uphill battle to build local manufacturing outside of China, because when it comes to low-cost mass production, everything points in China's favor in terms of technology know-how, local supply chains, and regulation. So government intervention, coordinated multi-sector planning, and significant long-term investment are going to be essential for other countries to be able to play a bigger role in the supply chains of the energy transition, especially since a domestic supply chain cannot develop overnight. Thank you for listening.